Boston and Uhas with the tip, and here's Caitlin. And right away the cheers erupt. And a turnover right off the bat for a Lynx.
The prodigy Caitlin Clark arrived on the court with evidence to refute Cheryl Reeve, the coach who had passed her over for the Olympic squad in the game between Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx. This game had a pulse, a heartbeat ringing with history and atonement, not simply another game on the calendar. Clark didn't hold back when addressing the Minnesota Lynx and their head coach, Cheryl Reeve.
Game we've held our opponents under 84, so 74 is really good for us. And especially in that fourth quarter, like we just played really good defense. We were switching, we were communicating. But I think just obviously you can start to tell like we're just getting more.
Well, she made headlines with her recent comments and sending shockwaves through the WNBA community. Known for her fearless playing style and unfiltered opinions, Clark didn't hold back when addressing the Minnesota Lynx and their head coach, Cheryl Reeve. In a recent post-game interview, Clark was asked about the Lynx performance and strategy. Her response was incendiary, critiquing the Lynx traditional play style as outdated and predictable in a league that is increasingly dynamic and fast-paced.
Able to get that done.
Defense, I think we've won every single game. We've kept our opponents under 84 and obviously 74. So even though we probably didn't, shoot the ball the greatest, we just found a way to win. We're resilient. We came into the quarter down 7 and,
Clark's comments extended to player development, highlighting a lack of innovation and ineffective utilization of the younger players on the roster. This stinging criticism aligns with a growing sentiment among analysts that the Lynx need to adapt to stay competitive.
I told him I thought defensively we played, again, mostly well enough to win. Our offense is putting so much pressure on our defense. Make one mistake and they score, and it just hurts you so bad because we're not coming.
Cheryl Reeve, a seasoned coach with multiple championships under her belt, responded calmly, acknowledging that every team has its critics and emphasizing the team's focus on their goals and continuous improvement. Despite her poise, it's evident that Clark's words have struck a chord. The basketball community is buzzing with reactions.
Back at people and really challenging. I mean, this isn't, Indiana's not a team that's hung their hat on their defense to this point. And so
fans and analysts are debating whether Clark's blunt assessment is a necessary wake-up call for the Lynx, or an overstep by a young player still proving herself. Regardless, one thing is certain, Caitlin Clark's voice is powerful, and when she speaks, the WNBA listens. Let's have a look into the game.
Some change left to play here in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark pulls it back, knocks it down, her third 3 of the quarter. First year with the Liberty and the WNBA. Phoebish,
Clark came to rule not just to play, she was clearly visible from the first whistle. Her first assist was artistic, weaving a labyrinth of defenders with a needle that landed precisely in her teammates' hands. The audience let out a blast. This type of performance makes one ask, why on earth did Reeve leave her out?
more steals per game than Minnesota. And underneath to Boston, that was a nice look from Smith.
Three-point shooter in her own right, the only person shooting better from the three by percentage than her team.
And then there came the three-pointer. With the defender in front of her, Clark sent the ball upward. Time slowed down, the audience let out a breath. Swish! The stadium erupted, and Clark's face was one of great will. I belong here, she was saying.
And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA.
If you have been following Clark's path, you are aware she arrived in the WNBA under much buzz. The change was not smooth, however. Those first games had flashes of genius, combined with rookie nerves. Looking ahead now, we find a rather different player. Confident, composed, dominant.
Caitlin, wow, that was a really good, as Lainey Hamilton has been to Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark connects on a deep three. Going back and forth.
The young one here.
Spend some time recognizing her development. She may have hesitated on that improbable pass or second-guessed the deep shot early in the season. No more. Playing with the elegance of a seasoned professional, Clark makes rapid judgments that leave her opponent scrambling. Recall that old trend? 5 games with the most points ever recorded by a WNBA rookie. This is hard work, devotion, and an unquenchable spirit, not just of skill. Clark is improving the whole squad, not just doing well. She was everywhere facing the Lynx, arranging the attack, driving to the hoop, playing strong defense. Reeve has a game plan to confine her. inefficient. Reading the defense like a book, Clark was one step ahead, grabbing every opening. Her performance went beyond just scoreability. Those 3 rebounds and 6 assists are very important. Every performance she gave appeared to inspire her group. They ate off her desire, her vision, her vitality. The Fever's triumph was evidence of Clark's impact on the court, not just a win. One very memorable scene was the last minutes when the game hung on a knife edge. In a flash, Clark faked a shot, biting 2 defenders, and then transferred the ball to Aaliyah Boston for a simple basket. That represents judicial vision on even another level, people. Not less important is her defense. Clark has improved here rather remarkably. She is making smart plays, anticipating motions, and utilizing her body better. She is developing the whole package rather than only a one-dimensional performer. Regarding that three-pointer right now, you are familiar with the one. Defender all over her, Clark shoots and collapses to the ground as the ball arcs precisely into the goal. That shot was a dagger, a momentum mover that charged her teammates and the audience more than 3 points. Still, it was a team effort, even if Clark excelled. Leading with 71 points, Aaliyah Boston was a force with 17 points and 16 rebounds. Nalissa Smith contributed 11 vital points. Still, Clark's leadership was the binding agent keeping everything together. Reeve created defensive plans meant to thwart Clark, but she managed to influence the game. This illustrates her change from the beginning of the season. Clark is prospering, not just surviving. She is improving the surroundings. This 81-74 triumph was a message more than simply a win. The Fever showed their promise, their tenacity, their capacity for competition with the finest. Clark also, she was central in all of it. For Clark, this triumph tasted good. It was all a statement, beating Reeve's squad, playing aggressively, demonstrating why she ought to have been on that Olympic roster. Coach Reeve, consider what you are losing out on. Rookie of the Year has a solid case from this performance. Clark is consistent, a leader, an adept at shining in pivotal events. Voters search for these kinds of attributes, and Clark has them in plenty. And the insane aspect as well, Clark is a novice still. She has plenty enough space to develop. Imagine her in a year or 2 if she is already having this type of effect right now. For this extraordinary ability, the heavens are the limit. It has been amazing how composed Clark is on the court. You could feel the anxiety and the urge to impress herself with every action at the beginning of the season. She is now performing as if the WNBA is her playground. She does not worry even in close games like this one versus the Lynx. Imagine a rookie dealing with a squad run under by someone who turned aside you from the national team, not Clark. Many would break with the strain. She trusted her teammates, played her game, and let her performance speak for itself. For the Fever, her presence on the court is a soothing agent. When she is guiding traffic, her colleagues engage in more assured play. Particularly for a rookie, this is a remarkable ability to instill such confidence and calmness. Clark does not hang her head, even under trying circumstances, like a missed shot or a poor pass. She is considering the next performance already. Her uniqueness comes from this forward-looking resilience. To be honest, it's difficult to imagine this is the same athlete that debuted only a few months earlier. Her quick acclimation to the league makes it easy to forget she is a rookie. MVP talks could not be far off if she continues to develop at this speed. Regarding MVP, we have the All-Star game coming up. There is much excitement about Clark's involvement. Her jersey sales ran out in 18 minutes. For a beginner, it is unearthly. For those who have been seeing her magic on the court, however, it is not surprising. Her opportunity to really shine will be the All-Star game. Playing alongside and against the finest of the league will allow Clark to highlight why she fits. Imagine her striking a trademark deep 3 before a crowded audience. It promises to be a show. Her All-Star performance is much anticipated and off the scale. Will she keep her cool, or will the thrill propel her to unprecedented heights? She will clearly be the center of attention. Everyone wants to see what this amazing rookie will accomplish going forward, including players, coaches, and fans. Remember, however, the All-Star game is the starting point. Drama still abound in the WNBA season. Every game will be another trial for Clark and the Fever as the pressure mounts. The tale of Caitlin Clark is playing out before our eyes and is one of victories, struggles, and excitement. Her development from her first game to her remarkable triumph versus the Lynx has been just amazing, and we are just beginning. Ahead come the All-Star game, the second half of the season, and maybe the playoffs. Every game provides yet another opportunity to see history being created. Let us now gently turn back a little and delve more into Caitlin Clark's path. Her basketball career spent years in development rather than starting in the WNBA. Growing up in Iowa, Clark was exceptional right away. She established records, dominated high school basketball, and won honors. Her brilliance was not overlooked. College scouts were waiting to sign her. Playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Clark soon became a household name. Her first season was very outstanding and she kept improving every year. She was among the most often discussed prospects in recent memory by the time she announced for the WNBA draft. Her promise caught Indiana Fever's attention and they selected her first choice. And Clark has been proving them accurate from the start. Her move into the professional ranks went more naturally than anybody could have predicted. Indeed, there were hiccups along the road, but her diligence and will set her apart. A club that had suffered in past seasons, the Fever suddenly renewed vitality under Clark. Her dynamic changed the squad with her enthusiasm, playfulness, and scoring touch. They were winning rather than just competing, and Clark was central in all of it. The fact that Clark is resilient adds even more appeal to her narrative. She has had disappointments, like being off the Olympic squad, but she has turned those events into fire. She is more concerned with establishing her value on the court than moping over the rejection. Every game, every one of which play, she is exposing the world they missed. Her capacity for leadership has also drawn attention. Though new, Clark's colleagues look up to her. She pushes herself and everyone around her to be better, modeling behavior. Though it's unusual for someone so young, this is one of the few factors guiding her toward brilliance. Clark has influence outside of the court as well. For young athletes, particularly females hoping to play basketball at the greatest level, she has grown to be a role model. Her path is evidence of the results of enthusiasm, diligence, and commitment. She is an inspiration as much as a basketball player. In the neighborhood, Clark has also been causing stir. She participates in many projects and uses her position to be giving back and changing things. She is dedicated to leveraging her achievements to benefit others, whether it means via youth clinics, charitable events, or speaking engagements. Looking forward, Caitlin Clark has a very bright future. Though it marks a major turning point, the All-Star Game is just one chapter in her life. New possibilities and challenges will present themselves in the second half of the WNBA season. Clark is ready to seize them. The playoff effort of the Fever will be a trial of their will and fortitude. They have glimpses of genius and a genuine chance to go far with Clark leading the charge. Though it will not be simple, nothing worthwhile has ever been. Crucially, Clark's development as a leader and player will determine. She has already proved she can rise to the situation. As the stakes become bigger, she will have to keep improving her performance. One thing we have discovered about Caitlin Clark, however, is that she excels under duress. Her path is hardly done. Her development as the player she is now has been molded by the lessons she has acquired, the obstacles she has surmounted, and the successes she has enjoyed. And while she negotiates the highs and lows of a professional basketball career, they will still help to define her. Thus, let's value the extraordinary skill and will Caitlin Clark has shown thus far as we follow her path. Let's honor her accomplishments and assist her through difficult times. And let's savor the few fascinating events yet to come. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on the Minnesota Lynx to see if they respond to this public challenge or continue on their current path. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark has added another layer of excitement and intrigue to the league. What people do you think? Would Clark rule the All-Star Game? Can she guide the Fever toward the playoffs? Comments let you share your ideas. Hearing what each of you believes about this amazing trip excites me. Remember to subscribe and press the bell symbol if you like this analysis and want to remain current with everything basketball. We have rather more fascinating material just ahead. Appreciate you seeing. See you in the future video.